Okay, so we've got a map of the capital city, Bishkek, here. So I thought we could have a little geography lesson. I'll be your geography teacher. It'd be better if I had a stick instead of a pen, I know. But, it's a big city actually, more than 1 million people. This is the whole centre area here. As you can see, it's kind of built in the Soviet system of big, long, wide boulevards, kind of blocks and squares. I think actually they got the idea from American cities. The first settlers that came, they sort of just were in here, and then this was the city that was built up during the Soviet time, as you can see in the Soviet style. When communism fell, many streets all over the Soviet Union changed their name. In many of the republics, this happened overnight. In Kyrgyzstan, they weren't so quick to change, and in fact some of the streets have only changed their name very recently, including this street here, one of the main streets, now got its new name, named after a Kyrgyz writer, but before this was known as Prospect Mira or Peace Avenue. Sometimes it can be a little bit confusing to know exactly what street you're on. If you actually look here, and especially if you read Russian, there's 3 different street signs there, 3 different addresses. This is quite a good idea. You see these on quite a number of the big blocks, because the Soviets built these huge housing estates, and I guess it could be a little bit disorientating to know exactly where you are at times. So on the buildings here they put a map to try to help people find their way. Once you get out of the city centre, it can be quite difficult to navigate the city streets. A lot of them don't actually have proper signs, but just the name of the street stenciled onto the wall. Sometimes the street signs are written in Russian, other times in Kyrgyz language. You've got to have a Moscow street, of course. Moscow being to Kyrgyzstan and the other republics a bit like what London would be to the British colonies. The roadways all throughout the city are pretty much excellent condition. However, the same can't be said about the paths, which out of the city centre can be pretty awful. This one's a good example. They probably don't expect people to walk on it, but I certainly am, so are other people. And it's actually the street in the name of Tolstoy, so not quite the streets befitting such a prominent writer. So sometimes your walk around town is disturbed by the train that comes in the evening. Or sometimes by cargo train as well. They don't have any underground lines or any bridges, so the trains just come through the city centre and the traffic has to stop. Like so.